Many people don't know, unless you're close with my family, that I grew up without my father physically. And I say physically because we're still very close. He just had to sit down for a little bit. And that's not something I'm ashamed of. That's something I didn't do. Um, but, it could create a stigma, and that's kind of why I don't tell people as soon as they meet me. Um, but a lot of people will talk about their parents and talk about situations that go on with them and things that are similar, and they would blame uh, what they're going through in their personal life decisions that they made for the fact that their parents weren't there, and that's kind of when I chime in and say, hey, you can't do that. If you're going to be an adult, you have to be an adult. You cannot blame your decisions now on decisions that your parents did, because I didn't grow up with my dad, you know but you would never know that unless I told you. So that was important for me as an adult, was to create a life that you couldn't put me in a category based on meeting me, based on seeing my life. You couldn't categorize me with anything. And a lot of times I have to tell people that I'm not perfect. Like, people tell me all the time, oh, I think you're perfect, or you think you're better than people, you think you're perfect. And bruh, it's so not perfect over here. But I'm okay with talking about what I've really been going through and what I've gone through in this lifetime, because I know that there's so many kids who do not have parents, mom and or dad, and then their parents grew up the same situation. So my situation is not new. My situation is not one that's a minority. My situation is the vast majority. You may not have lost your parents the way that I did, but there's a lot of people growing up without a father, theirs, their father. And this is not to downplay my daddy, because I love my daddy. We are super close, and I can't wait for him to come home. That is Bay. If you know me and you know him and you know any of us, you know that is Bay. But I was going to do this like huge Father's Day video, because I love Father's Day, which is weird because I grew up without my dad. So how am I able to love Father's Day? But it's because I still have so many positive male role models, and I love what a father stands for, and just because my father hasn't been here physically in my life, he's been a huge staple in my life. He's broken all the boundaries for me and shown me that it doesn't have to be someone who's physically in your face all the time. That relationship, that communication, that bond is something that's built with, time and work, and we have built our bond like stronger than kids who are out here, and their dads live down the street, and it's pretty sad. So Father's Day, I never ever have been upset because my dad hasn't been physically there, but that was just a new dynamic of our relationship. My dad has been there my entire life. He's never left me. He's always made sure that he was such a prominent part of my life, and that's awesome. Um, so I never grew up to hate Father's Day, but I talked to someone. I was like, hey, you're going to be in my video. I'm going to, ask questions, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And he's like, no, because I haven't had my father for over half of my life. And I grew up angry that my friends had their father and I didn't. And I was just like, wow, that is my story. That is my life, but I don't feel that same way. And I just was thinking, like, how did I overcome that? Because for me, I've overcome a lot of things, but I never, honestly, never think about it. I just kind of do it. I just survive, honestly. And I said, how the heck did I overcome that? Like, why do I not feel that way? And it's honestly because there have been so many other men in my life who have stepped up, who have done what it took to make sure I didn't have daddy issues. And I don't think that was their purpose. I think, that's just what family does. And that's just what people who love people do. So every summer I came to my grandparents' house and I stayed with them. And I actually spent my 10th grade year um, in North Carolina. So I was with my grandparents all the time. And my granddad was like my dad, First of all, what is the next best thing but the man who raised your dad? And second of all, they look alike. Their humor is alike. They act alike. So it was kind of like just having an older version of daddy. And I actually call my granddad daddy. And I call him that because my cousins call him that. So I call him that. So I never felt like I was lacking. And then on top of my grandparents, I had brothers. I had older brothers. And, even to this day, they just come and swoop in and save the day when I need them. Not recently, like a couple years ago, my ex destroyed my house. Like, he was crazy. He was such a mean, angry person. And he was mean and angry because he didn't have his dad. And he was mad at his mom because his mom didn't give him a stepdad. And he harbored that. And that grew inside of him all those years. And he's just angry at life. He was unable to achieve happiness. And he destroyed my house. He destroyed my freaking house. And my older brother came and he cleaned up the glass and helped me, get my house back in order. And then when I moved, my younger brother came and moved my stuff for me. So, they come in and they save the day for me all the time. And growing up, it's always been nice to have them. A lot of people tell me I'm just not a normal girl. That's because I've always been surrounded by guys. I have all brothers, I'm not meant to be a normal girl. So for me, that's kind of what kept me grounded and what allowed me to grow up and not have daddy issues. But I kind of feel bad for my kids because my kids don't have that father figure in their household. So it frustrated me because I said, well, dang, I'm raising sons. Do they need a dad more than I did? And of course they do. But they have the same dynamic that I did, and they're going to be okay. They have uncles. If my son, he's standing me in my face, he looks at me because we're the same height because he's 13 and I'm short. And if he's acting up, I'm like, all right, I'm going to call you uncle. And my brother just swoops in and he, makes him do push-ups and makes him clean up and run around and, do things that they don't like to do because you're being disrespectful. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, it takes a village, and I know that my story is not one that is my own. I know there's other people out there who are making it, who are raising children, who weren't able to go to Father's Day dances, what is it, father-daughter dances, or have their dad walk them down the aisle, or I don't know, just anything. But they overcame it and they became good people, and they are not harboring, the anger inside. And when someone tells me that they hate Father's Day because they didn't have their father, to me that means you're still holding it. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. At some point, you just got to realize that, okay, they made their decisions, but now as a parent, I realize that I'm not going to make all the best decisions in life, and that there are going to be some things that my kids get upset with me about and harbor until their adulthood, and they're going to have to let it go. But you try to do what's best, and that's honestly what makes a difference. But for today's youth, because let me tell you, I love Father's Day. I do. But it's not a my dad, your dad, my baby daddy, your baby daddy, whatever. It is men in general stepping up for today's youth. I just want to say thank you to all the men out there who are stepping up for today's youth, taking them on field trips, giving them summer jobs, disciplining them when necessary, buying clothes, stepping in for your sister who might be a single mom, and just showing today's youth what it looks like for a man to be a man. That is who that is who Father's Day means to me. That's what Father's Day means to me. You don't even have to have your own kids, honestly. But if you go in and you're talking to today's youth and you're talking to them about being a man, or if you have children in your house, yours or not yours, it doesn't matter. But you're getting up every day and you're going to work and you're taking care of them and you're showing love to the woman that's in your house and being respectful and showing them that love doesn't hurt, love doesn't beat you, love doesn't give you black eyes, love doesn't do that to you, then these are the men that are showing our kids what they need to be and helping them not to create daddy issues. These are the men who are helping today's youth, but they're also the men who helped me become what I am today, be stable today, and not have daddy issues, and not be running around here looking for things in men that I don't need to, because I'm able to provide for myself and I'm stable and happy by myself. I don't need, someone double my age to do anything for me. Honestly, I don't even know what a daddy issue look like. Like, I could sit here and try to categorize it, but it doesn't matter. It's okay to grow up without perfect circumstances. That is what I'm getting to. So it's okay to grow up without perfect circumstances, but you need to be surrounded by a network, a community, a family who loves and shows what it looks like from every angle. Children need positive females in their life, and children need positive males in their life. And that's why I love Father's Day so much. Because the older I get, honestly, the more solid and stable and amazing the men who I'm meeting or who I maintain in my life as friends are. Like, it's just awesome to see men taking care of their children and really stepping up for their sister's children or the church or just kids in their community, getting them out of the street. And every time a young man comes across my screen who has died from no fault of their own, who's just been gunned down, it breaks my heart, because I'm raising children, I'm raising men. So for me to see that, it breaks my heart. And we need to really step up for our youth so this epidemic can stop. It has to stop. We can't keep losing our young men to this environment, to this world. So it has to stop. It has to stop. And it begins with us. It begins with how we raise them, how we raise them to be respectful, how we raise them to talk to people, to talk to strangers, to talk to authority, how we raise them to do good in school despite friends or whatever is going on, how we raise them not to steal, not to kill, not to play with guns, that guns are not a toy but a weapon. It's necessary. So I feel like I'm rambling in this video. I feel like I am. This is like my fourth take. I'm not going to take this no more. I'm not going to do it anymore. If you get something out of this video, then that is good. But I really just wanted to thank all the men out there who step up for our youth, and to let people know that your circumstances growing up or now cannot be perfect. It might not be picture perfect, but it's yours, and you have to own it. You have to make the best. Our parents are here to bring us into this world and kind of get us, to 18 safe and sound and fed. But honestly, that's it. That's it. Now that we're adults, guys, we kind of got to take all the lessons that we learn, put stuff in our good pocket, stuff in our bad pocket, stuff that we want to be like and continue in our life, and stuff that we never want to be like, and make the best of it. But you can't let your circumstances growing up hold you back and hinder you and create issues in you that don't let you move forward to the point where you're kind of running around in circles. In order to have a happy, healthy life, you kind of got to let that stuff go. And, that's just how it is. So, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, or the in proxy fathers who are just doing the damn thing for today's youth. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. I really feel like I'm rambling, but it is neither here nor there. So, have a great day. Bye.